So here we have some weather data for a specific month in Marquette, Michigan, and we can do some calculations. So here we've got the date, the day of the week has been extracted from the date, and we've got some values for the maximum temperature, minimum temperature, the average temperature, and the amount of rainfall. So for the number of days rained, we can do a COUNTIF. So we can say COUNTIF. The range is going to be all the values that could potentially be counted. So I'm going to select F3 through F33. I'm not going to include the total. And my criteria, here's the tricky part. I want to count every day if the rain was greater than 0. And you have to put that criteria in quotation marks, which is a little bit odd to me, but that's just the way it is. So we're not going to count trace amounts here. So if we just count manually, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 days of rain. So we're not, again, that doesn't count the t's because that t is not going to be greater than 0, but that's just going to be the way that we're calculating it here. Now, let's say we want to count the number of days that it rained also by day of the week. So we've got day of the week in column B, and we've got the rain in column F. So there's two criteria that we need to check. So we can use the COUNTIFS function here. COUNTIFS. Okay, so there's multiple criteria. So the first range, the day of the week, I'm going to select column B, and I'm going to push F4 because we are going to use that same range to evaluate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all those things. So I'm going to hit F4 there. And the criteria will be this value in column H. I've got each of the days of the week in column H. So that's just going to filter out the rows that contain Sunday. So I'm going to hit a comma now. And the criteria 2, whoops, let's delete that. Criteria 2 is going to be this rain column. So I'm going to select the rain. This time, because I'm going to be copying and pasting it, I'm going to hit F4 so that those references don't change when I copy and paste this formula. And then in quotes again, I'm going to say greater than 0. So rain on one Sunday. So I could check. Sunday rained a little bit. Sunday, no rain. Sunday, no rain. Sunday, no rain. So looks like it's calculating it correctly. I'll copy and paste this. The formula is going to look the exact same. Excuse me. The only difference is the reference to the day of the week. Looks like Thursday was a good day for no rain in this particular month. So in column J, it tells us to use the SUMIF function for each of these days of the week. So the range here is the range that we're filtering by. Notice we've got a range and a sum range. So this is where we're going to apply our filter. So if we just want the total rain on Sundays, the range is going to be our days of the week, and I'm going to push F4 to make those absolute references. The criteria will be a reference to the day of the week. And the sum range are the values that we want to add. And we can select, this range has those t's in it. Again, Excel's just going to ignore those for us, which is nice. I'm going to close that off. And we only had that one Sunday with a little bit of rain. That looks correct. Let's just, if I select this range, the total rain, I can look down here. The sum of those selected cells, let me select that again. The sum is 4.65, which equals here the sum of all the values here. It's just a double check to make sure that my formulas are doing what they're supposed to. tells me to use the AVERAGEIF function to determine the average rainfall in August by day of the week. Okay, so I'll say AVERAGEIF. Again, by day of the week, we're going to filter off of day of the week, F4, to make that absolute. The criteria should be relative because I want it to change when I copy and paste it down the column. And the average range is going to be the rain again with an absolute reference. So I had 4 Sundays. 0.23 divided by 4 is 0.06. Looks good. This average is going to be useful because I might have, so I have a couple of extra Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So just looking at the total rain by day of the week could throw my analysis off because some days of the week would be weighted heavier. So this average number takes those number of days into account. So Thursday, no days of rain, no total, average should be 0. As a kind of a gut check, that looks good. Calculations to me look good. So all those functions can be useful for calculating some summary statistics.